I feel so inclined to share this message, especially with the generation that we're in, especially with how society is continuously moving forward and how social media is somewhat dictating our lives. And it's just simply this. Something that's so simple, but we miss it so much. That just because it's good doesn't mean that it's God. And the reason why I say this is because there's another giver, and it's the world. The world wants to give you so much. It wants to give you all these promises that it can't keep because the world itself is passing away. Going deeper, the world can give, but it cannot satisfy. Like the thing that your flesh wants, the thing that your soul wants, the thing that you're eagerly looking for in the world, even if you can get a taste of it, it still won't satisfy you. You'll still need more. It's like drinking water. Yes, it quenches the thirst for now, but I shall thirst again. And the reason why you keep thirsting again is because when you keep trying to drink from the fountain of the world, it will keep subsiding. But when you go to God, when you go to Jesus, and he provides you this living water, that once you drink it, it goes in you and it creates a fountain inside of you, and you shall never thirst again. Let's go to the Bible, and it says in 1 John chapter 2, verse 15, it says, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world is passing away in the lust of it. But he who does the will of God abides forever." The one who does the will of God lives forever, even while this world is passing away. But you get to choose what you pursue. It's so good. Even deeper though, from this, we're also understanding, it's breaking it down to us not to love the world, not to choose the world. Don't go to the world for comfort, but rather go to God for the cure. But the reason why, the real root of it, the reason why we go to the world for comfort is because the world promises us quick fixes. The world promises us shortcuts. The world is microwave. But God, he delights in patience. He delights in diligence. He wants the labor. God loves doing things in his proper timing. In a timing that is befitting for you. A timing that when the blessing comes, it shall be. That when an inheritance is gained, it will be a blessing at the end. But the world wants to promise you quick fixes. So we go to the world hoping that it can satisfy us quickly because we have legitimate needs. But please, this is letting us know that yes, you have legitimate needs, but stop going to illegitimate places to get them met. Because it's saying this, if anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. The lust of the flesh, what the flesh wants. This is not just sex, but this is what you eat as well. This is how you treat your temple. This is what you do with your time. Then we have the lust of the eyes. What are you pursuing? What are you trying to gain? Enviness, jealousy. All these come from it. Then we have the pride of life. This is being arrogant. This is not being able to be happy for others when things aren't going well for yourself. This is wanting to be worshiped, feeling like you deserve something. When we're here, the love of the Father is not in us. Because all those things is not of the Father, but is of the world. And you know what's so interesting? The world wants you exactly there. The world wants you to want all that it gives. But you can go for it. I promise you, you can. You can go for all of it, and you'll still not be satisfied. But when you go to the one who does provide the sustaining work, Not only is it life changing, but it's good news, and you can't help but rejoice. Then go spread it. Then it helps us understand that there's two givers. And it's a verse from John 14, verse 27. It says, "Peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. Not as the world gives, do I give to you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid." Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Here we're seeing Jesus is telling us that my peace I give to you, not as the world gives, do I give to you. He is saying that there's two givers. There's two. So yes, and we know this too, as Jesus is baptized and he goes into the wilderness to fast for 40 days and 40 nights, that we learn there that God isn't the only one who opens doors. Satan offered Jesus 3 different doors. And they're all good doors, but just because they're good doesn't mean that it's coming from God. Which is why I'm here to let you know this. I'm here to let you know that we have to be able to use our discernment as children of God, as disciples of God. We have to be able to use our discernment as people to know when we're going into things too early. To know when it's not our proper time. To know when this time is not befitting of now. Because I know a lot of times it's preached and is spoken into you. His motivation is encouraging that this is your moment, that this is your year, and this is this and this is that. I'm just trying to encourage y'all and trying to open your eyes to make sure that you don't get caught in prematurity trying to rush your process. Because just as you can be late for something, you can also be too early. Proverbs 20:21 says, "An inheritance gained hastily at the beginning will not be blessed at the end." It's so important for us to know that even good doors can be too good to be true. That even good doors are still meant to be, are still worth keeping closed. Because yes, they're good, but did God send you there? Yes, they're good, but did God call you there? Yes, it's good, but are you meant to be there? Are you meant to go through it? As believers, we have to know how to say no. We have to know the power in no. It's something that Eve showed us in the beginning. When Satan tempted her, he didn't tell her to go do something that was necessarily bad. And the Bible even says that when she looked at the tree, she saw that it was good. She saw that the fruit looked good, and it was good to her eyes for her to eat it. But just because it's good doesn't mean that God called you to do such a thing. Because if you know anything about Genesis, you know that he didn't. I think everybody knows that story, right? He didn't call her to do such a thing, but rather the opposite. Now think about how many things in your life God has not called you to do, but yet you have gone and ate from that tree. No wonder why it's not giving you life. You have been partaking from a tree that God has forbidden from you. It's not to say that it's a total bad tree. It's just to say that it's not for you. And maybe even this, maybe it's not just that it's not for you. It's just not for you right now. Like you may have this amazing idea to pursue, but it may not be the right timing. In Ecclesiastes, it tells us that there's a right and a proper time for everything. There's a proper season for every moment. This just might not be your season to do that thing. But there's another thing that he's called you to do. Or there's another place that he's called you to be. Or maybe he just wants you to be still. Because maybe it's not the calling that is the problem, but it's your heart posture. It's your wanting to seek the world still. And he just wants you to seek him. Seek his kingdom first. It's important as believers that we have enough discernment to be able to see what is for us and what isn't. Because we're coming into times, and I'm not even prophesying anything, we're already in it, where there's moments and times where you can just open up your phone and there's so many things being thrown at you that you look at it and you say, I want to be a this and I want to do that and there's so many opportunities because the world wants to give you something. It's trying to open up all these doors, trying to confuse you, trying to make you pick something that God has never called you to be. It wants you to dedicate your life to something that God has never called you to do. And if anything else, at minimum, it wants you to forget your calling to pursue one of its opportunities. Because it knows that it can't truly satisfy you. So once you do this and it doesn't work, it's going to try to give you another thing and another thing. And it wants you to continuously seek and chase it for more and more and more and more. Because like I said before, the world is like a microwave. It's promising you things to happen fast. But we know that good things take time. The real good things take time. And it's important to ask ourselves a question, just in a self-reflection thing of this. If we were ready for the thing that we have been praying for, don't you think that God would have already put you in position to receive? I'll say it again because somebody missed it. If you were ready for what you are praying for, don't you think that God would place you into position to receive? Like, don't you think that if you are actually ready for the exact thing that you have been praying for, the exact thing that you are calling out to God for, that he would give it to you, that he would place you into alignment so that you can come into agreement with such a thing? And what I'm saying here is, I'm not saying that God doesn't want to give. I'm saying it's just not in his character to give it too early. Don't get caught in prematurity trying to rush your process. What's meant for you is for you. But you have to be able to discern what's good and what's God, because the enemy is getting real tricky. And he's bringing you all of these opportunities just as he's done to Eve. He's a master of deception. So you have to be vigilant. It's so important to be mindful of what's happening around you. Be mindful of knowing your calling, and also knowing when it's too soon, or also knowing why do you feel the way that you feel. Just stay focused. Keep the main thing, and make sure that main thing is God. And you'll always be on the right path. I love y'all. And if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. I don't even know what else to say besides that God is so good. And I hope that this is something that really speaks to you. And if it doesn't, it's okay, because it spoke to me. But hey, if you don't like this video, that's why. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.